bullet-by-bullet gun violence now plagues Portland like never before. The shootings leave their mark on the city with death, injury, destruction, and fear. Tonight, armed with some new information about shootings citywide, we're taking you to the one local neighborhood that bears the brunt of the violence. Fox 12's Kendra Kent is live for us tonight in Hazelwood with more. Kendra?
Well, Nora and Pete, 5 years ago, there were fewer than 80 reported shootings across all of Portland. But just the last 3 years here in Hazelwood, there have been reports of 372 shootings. And if you live in this area of East Burnside and 122nd, you hear these shootings all the time. And that's because this intersection, these streets around here, were the most concentrated areas of shootings in this neighborhood last year. It was a memorial that grew through January as family and friends of Amado Santos, better known as Nacho, gathered and grieved.
Everybody that loved him came and check up on us.
But now it's February. The funeral is over, the flowers are wilting, the message is fading.
Everybody went back to their lives, and so right now we're just kind of on our own. And so that's when it gets to us.
What was once surreal has turned to crushing devastation for Santos's sisters and family.
The pain that we feel, you can't put words into it.
The 24-year-old gas station attendant was the first person to die in a shooting this year in Portland. Nacho was killed in the same neighborhood where he lived and worked, Hazelwood, the very same neighborhood that saw the most shootings citywide last year.
Why all this violence, what do they get out of it?
Police say there were 137 shootings here in 2022. That averages out to a shooting every 2.5 days in an area that's only 4 square miles. Those shootings last year hurt or killed 36 people, and at least 564 bullets were recovered on these same streets that some 25,000 Portlanders call home.
It's nothing new to us anymore, and that's sad.
It just hurt, because at the end of the day, we doing it to ourselves.
I don't feel safe at all here anymore.
It's the reality for people in Hazelwood. The Fox 12 investigators analyzed newly released Portland police data. And we recently rode along with the cops who see the violent aftermath firsthand.
We're actually driving right into an area right now that has had quite a few shootings.
And our investigation has revealed what appears to be the epicenter of the violence, the most dangerous spot of the most dangerous neighborhood here in Hazelwood when it comes to shootings.
122nd and East Burnside.
This intersection and just beyond takes the brunt of the city's bullets. We found there were 27 shootings within a half-mile radius here last year. Now there are homes, businesses, a medical center, the MAX train, and an elementary all nearby. And we wanted to know how people are coping with the violence.
I mind my own business. I don't pay attention to anybody.
Those who live here are not surprised by the statistics. They live it every day. Kelly Brady lives right at the corner. He hears and sees a lot.
Maybe 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, something. And all of a sudden you walk toward the street, it was quiet night, and bam, 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 nothing.
From mothers picking up their children at the nearby elementary.
I won't let them be outside unless I'm there. They can't go walk around the neighborhood. That's not going to happen right now.
To students who've witnessed shootings themselves.
I saw it outside my window.
Fox 12 spent hours in Hazelwood talking about gun violence with those who live here. Some neighbors are afraid to go out at night. Some wish they could move. Others simply chalk it up to life on Portland's gritty east side.
I've seen it all. I've experienced it myself. It's just... it is what it is.
Isaiah Payne lives in Gresham, but he spends much of his time traveling around Hazelwood and surrounding neighborhoods making house calls as a barber. He told us he's lost friends and family members to gun violence.
I feel like it's just a lot of people get left out here. You know what I'm saying? Just I wouldn't even necessarily say neglected, just kind of forgot of.
We met 17-year-old Brandon Harajan Zavalza, a senior at David Douglas High School. There were at least 6 shootings outside his apartment building last year. He says he witnessed a shooting right outside his door in 2021.
I'm not exactly affected by the gun violence. It's just kind of a thing that happens in the background. I'm focused on other things. I want to go to college. I want to get a full ride somewhere.
The difference between day and night here in Hazelwood changes the perception of safety as well as the reality. Most of the shootings happen after dark. Which is why Officer Michelle Petty and other members of Portland Police's focused intervention team work the night shift. The 12 officers and 2 sergeants of the so-called FIT team are dedicated to investigating shootings and use intelligence, tips, and tactics to try to prevent them.
So if we can reduce the amount of guns that are on the street, that can hopefully provide a safer community.
We spent some time with Officer Petty and other FIT officers in Hazelwood, as well as other neighborhoods on Portland's east side.
It's hard to make a turn on any street in the city and not have some sort of connection to a shooting that we've gone to.
On this particular night, officers kept their eyes peeled for familiar cars or faces, running plates to see what's stolen.
We're still going westbound division.
Yeah. Good spike.
Popping tires when suspects try to evade them. During our ride along, we were there for all of the above as police stopped drivers with stolen cars, switched plates, and suspended licenses. Officers confiscated drugs and a gun from one woman.
Fentanyl pills. This is heroin and a jammed firearm.
It's all part of the strategy to try to stay one step ahead of the violence. And it's no easy feat, as the Bureau will only investigate shootings where someone is killed or hurt.
With thousands of shootings happening in 1 year, one team with 12 officers can't manage that, you know.
Portland police estimate at least half of all shootings in the city are related to gang violence. Other shootings are often tied to robberies, people experiencing homelessness, or domestic violence.
Going to these calls and people in the community that witness these things, we're actually seeing this victim and we are hearing their painful cries or hearing, like a family after they've lost a loved one.
People of color are much more likely to be impacted.
It touches my heart in a way because a lot of these victims reflect people that look like me or look like my family. And so it's challenging. But mostly I would say we're seeing a lot of African-American males that are victims of gun violence in our city.
In Hazelwood, more than half the population is white. Yet most of those who've lost their lives here are Black or Hispanic. Families ripped apart and forever changed.
As you can see the pictures behind us, he had a beautiful smile.
For Amado Santos's family, they'll never think of these shootings as simply statistics. It's personal. The toll measured in grief, loss, and love for a young man gone too soon.
We made a promise to my brother the day that he got buried that we're going to get justice for him.
And Santos's family believes that he was mistaken for a gang member because he was wearing a blue bandana at the time of the shooting. They say he's never been involved in gangs, but they do believe that is why he was targeted. Now, the family is asking for help in solving the case. There has been no arrest yet of that shooter. Anyone who can help should call Portland police. Reporting live in Southeast Portland, Kendra Kent, Fox 12 Oregon.
Very enlightening report, Kendra. Thank you very much. Let's take a